Taurus. This is your week ahead tarot card reading, Taurus. It's a message for Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising sign from Born Without Boundaries Tarot. This is an energy reading, so please take these messages where and how they resonate in your life. If you're looking for a personal reading, I do those. Check out my website at www.bornwithoutboundariestarot.com. You can book and schedule over there. You'll also find all my extended readings there. Peruse. Taurus. There's a lot of new things happening. And I will say, there's a lot of new things happening for all of us. It's just some of us are at different places in that transitional timeline. Some of us are just closing out a cycle in order to make room. And others are sort of in the middle of just realizing or recognizing the direction we have to head in. You are at this beautiful place, at least according to these cards right now, of the things that you have dreamed, the things that you've seen, the things that you've worked for are now becoming. They're kind of like, think Frankenstein zapped by the lightning. Suddenly there's life. I'm sorry, I was still in Halloween mode. But let's show the cards. Dream the world into being, and you can always see in the background the skull. So this has taken a lot of sacrifice, and this has taken a lot of facing your fears. And certainly the shadow of those things is probably what empowered or infused the direction or egged you on and pushed you forward. But Lizard is all about playfulness and fun and forward and future. You often see this pictured, a lizard pictured a lot with fire signs or fire sign symbology in tarot, because it is about the future. It is about spontaneity. It is about playfulness, but it's also about ingenuity and maneuverability. It's definitely about being quick-witted and being in the moment as well. So this is really nice energy. 8 plus 3 is 11, so awakening. And then we have bring your ideas to life, electric eel. 4 plus 2 is 6. I love that energy, because this is really the zap of life that made me think of Frankenstein. It's that zap of life. It's not just the materials that we need to make something real. It is that ineffable zap that creates life. It's that infusion of the divine. And this is that lightning bolt energy, as something just strikes you and brings something to life, something that perhaps you have been planning for, at least preparing for, because when this strikes you, you kind of have to have everything prepared for and in place. You have to have it prepared for and ready in order to bring the life in. Everything had to be set beforehand, which is why I said there was a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, sacrifice, and facing fears that went into bringing this moment into reality. So where do we go from here? This is seemingly very good news for Taurus. Taurus. This is strange. We have the 3 of Swords, which is a great deal of heartbreak. Oh, this is really good news. We have the 6 of Swords. I will definitely share the cards with you. Hold on. Three of Swords, which is heartbreak, sadness, pain, suffering. Certainly not necessarily the sort of pessimism or pain. It's just suffering. And then we have moving on. That's why I said this is very good news. And it's interesting how the skull stood out to me so prominently this time around, and I associated it with death and sadness, pain, sacrifice. But there's something here. The beautiful news for you guys is that there's something coming out of it. There's something that is being birthed out of the pain. And of course, birth is that painful process. We have being able to move on from, and maybe because of, the hardship, the destruction. It's always been interesting to me how the creators of this traditional tarot deck, how it was a woman who painted the images for it, how she always put the swords and the Six of Swords in front of them. It wasn't what driving them from the back. No, it was actually guiding them. It was finding your way through the sorrow, the pain, the suffering, the worry. It's like that is what figured out the way forward for you. And this is moving on, not just from it, but because of it. So there has been some, it's like now you're realizing the reason why you had to go through what you went through. It's what makes you into the person who's ready to be all that you can be. We also have the High Priestess. So this is subconsciously understanding, something intuitive knowing. This is also faith and spirituality, maybe becoming, maybe that's what it is, a bunch of heartache leading you to be a more spiritual person that finds a lot more balance. It's almost like being led to another part of your brain or consciousness because of all the crap that you went through. You are not going to be the same again, Taurus, and you shouldn't be. You should never be who you used to be, always be who you are. And that is what the becoming is now, this sense of I am different. And what a wonderful thing that is. This is actually enabling you to move forward. There could be an actual move that is coming in your life with the Six of Swords. And then we have the King of Swords. There is clarity in direction and a way forward. There could also be, this is decisions. This is a decision maker. So it could be a person, let's describe him or her. It would be a masculine, doesn't have to be male or female, but it's a masculine, which means a very forward, decisive, progressive, aggressive, and certain, confident air sign. Definitely an adult. This is usually almost like a judge or a lawyer or somebody in the legal field. They use their intellect to be very clear, very objective, and very fair about what they say. This is a truth teller. If this is a person. Now, this could also just be an energy for you guys, symbolizing that, yes, you are certain about something. You've come to, I feel a peace and an easement here, maybe that you had to go through a lot of craziness to get to, but honestly, there is now I'm sure. I absolutely know the next step, and intuitively, maybe this was something that was rumbling beneath the surface the whole time. So what is the next step? We have the Queen of Cups here. So this is loving and caring and compassion. It's interesting how experience and wisdom can lead you to being open-hearted and loving, but ready to be or accept love and unconditional love at that. And then we have interesting combination. We have this Queen of Cups, which is a very giving, loving energy, a feminine water sign, a giver. Being kind-hearted after being rejected, after being hurt, after being left behind, and after being broke. You have really come through the ringer, as we would say, Taurus. This is that week where all the challenges and struggles make sense, or make you realize I will never be the person I was before them. There was a naivete about you prior. I think there was a lot of unexpected things. That Three of Swords style really split your heart in two. Three of Swords style really just ripped you to pieces. But your way of moving on from that is to have changed and incorporate that into who you are. This is, it's almost like you're trying to figure out which way to go or what move to make, because you can see the impending either losing your job, not making money, being released from your job, or maybe even the factory closing, the industry shutting down. You see that there's something looming here. We've got to get more, but this is a confirmation that, like, maybe mass exodus or challenges, like feeling like being left out in the cold or leaving a lot of people out in the cold. This could also be about wanting to give or help other people. Definitely a sense of you becoming far more compassionate, because you haven't just heard about it or thought about it. You've lived it. You've experienced something that has certainly made you see things differently. Let's get a moon card. Remember, there's always an extended reading I hope you guys join me for after this reading. Your hard work is paying off. That is a good sign, because I wasn't sure which way this was going to go. But Taurus, this is Capricornian energy. This is something new, or you're ready to level up. I think you're really on the precipice of finally being able to do something that you always thought you could do, but until you went through the ringer, you couldn't do it. And now you can. So now is the time of the you, or the version of yourself that can absolutely and with certainty take on the responsibilities or the roles that you've always wanted to, but you really weren't prepared for. You are now. And yes, this could be relationships, this could be job, whatever it is. It's almost like not really being able to love completely until you've had your heart broken and been dumped. Not being able to really run your company efficiently until you've been the one scared and worried, unemployed for 7 months. So there is that energy of you're so much better off now. Let's keep going. What brought this all up? What's going on with Taurus that these, all of a sudden, something very emotional. This is Piscean energy. Emotions that were beneath the surface, or it could have literally been the moon. No, you didn't expect this. This was an assumed ending, or you thought something was going to be finished, or you've dreamed it. And this is that sense of jumping to conclusions, or jumping too fast, or being afraid to take the next step or make the next move. It could even be a premonition of what could happen if you go into something too fast. I think it's like you kind of understand it or know it. Somehow it's been foretold. The Fool card in reverse is foolhardy and impulsive decisions made on emotions. So what it's saying to me is, on some level, you know that if you don't stick with something, or you let it go too quickly, you'd be acting on impulse and really letting yourself down. Or somehow deep inside, you're finally coming to the conclusion or realizing, I jumped into this very naively, and everything that I thought was going to be real wasn't. I was actually not prepared for the reality of something. And the reality of something has shifted your consciousness in a much different way. Okay, so where is Taurus headed? Where is Taurus headed? Work it out for him, please, God. There's abundance here, or maternal energy coming through, which means you're turning the tides. Abundance, prosperity, but this is sort of like the dream, right, of being so prosperous and being really settled. But I think that in some ways, especially a maternal figure in your life is now taking another path. They're expecting you to take on your own responsibilities, or you're being expected to, and there's a lot of stress or aggravators or or competition in the way. It's almost like you expect, going into a situation wide-eyed and really open, thinking this is going to work out really, really quickly, and realizing it is absolutely not, because you have to fight for even the little scrap of reality or opportunity. And so you may be thinking on some level, maybe I chose the wrong direction, and maybe this isn't, I wanted my dream version of it. I wanted what I expected to come, but the reality of it is not something that I wanted at all. And now you're thinking, okay, well, which direction do I go in? Which direction does Taurus go in? I just heard in my head, the only way out is through. Okay, so what action should Taurus take? It's saying slow and steady wins the race. Be very, very careful with money. Treat it as precious. Also a job, maybe a job that bores you. This is Hermit energy. Yeah, it's like a stable job. It's like the universe or something in you is calling for you to stabilize your life with all this craziness by allowing yourself to take a job, maybe working for somebody else. This is slow, it's day-to-day work, doing something day-to-day. And then, so in other words, the answer to my question is take things one day at a time, but continue on your work, especially having faith, because there is something coming to you that will establish who you are and make you feel really good about yourself, especially proving to yourself, yes, I can do this. Right? But the universe is definitely saying you've got to get through this to get to where you want. You thought it was going to be maybe simpler, no, or self-explanatory. No, but it is leading you to wonderful. This is Virgo energy. Something has moved very slowly and you've had to work on it day after day. You must continue to work on it day after day. And ultimately, Taurus, the value will come in. People will see your value. It's taken a long time to get to you. Your consistency and your tenacity is what will bring in the abundance. Let's go to the extended. Link is below, guys. Or just head to my website. I'll see you guys there.